Hey, what's cool, y'all? Welcome back to another video. Some huge news just dropped today, and let me go read it out from Ian Rappaport. The Houston Texans are set to do a virtual interview with the Chiefs offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy today, source said. Thanks to the NFL and Kansas City allowing it, Houston doesn't have to wait until after the playoffs, and this is huge news for us. And we all know that Deshaun Watson has publicly vouched for Eric Bieniemy, and so I think that Eric Bieniemy does have some cons, but I think it's necessary for us to focus more on the pros and just have an optimistic mindset with Eric Bieniemy and wait to and make our judgments after we see him do a whole season with us. So with that out of the way, I just want to talk about just like what Eric Bieniemy can bring for us. And first off and foremost, he is a disciple of the Andy Reid coaching tree, and that coaching tree includes, although it includes like people like Matt Nagy, who Bear fans were calling for his firing, but Doug Peterson is a disciple of Nagy. He won a Super Bowl. He did get fired, but just something happened in Philly, but just things didn't work out. But he still is a Super Bowl head coach. Also, Sean McDermott, Ron Rivera, John Harbaugh, and that just shows like there's his tree is like still very successful. And the best thing about that is that Andy Reid has praised Eric Bieniemy like the most out of all of them. Like, he said he's one of the most ready to go. He has a knack for memorization, and like he's very smart. And I just have a good feeling. I have a good feeling about Eric Bieniemy. Hopefully, because he's definitely has a good personality for head coach. Definitely. I've listened to like so many of his press conferences. He has a good attitude, good energy about him, and I just like the way he talks. Like, I know Anthony Weaver kind of had that same kind of energy, but and we kind of fell in love with him as Texans fans at the beginning of the season. But still, that's just a good personality to have, and the players still love playing for Anthony Weaver. Just a side note, but yeah. I mean, Anthony Weaver is just a good guy. I don't know why I'm ranting about Anthony Weaver, but like, he stood up for the players. But and I think Eric Bieniemy is like the same way, in that he's a players coach. And say what you want about like players liking to play with OB. Like Deshaun said that he liked playing with OB, and like other coaches, like that's still an important quality to have. I think players like stopped liking Bill O'Brien after he made that dumb trade and stuff like that, but he was still liked by the locker room in a sense until like the very end, I guess, until JJ Watt like rioted, like I don't know, stood up against him. But also Eric Bieniemy, his resume is, some people like think it's questionable. Obviously he was only a offensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs and nowhere else, and that this Chiefs offense particularly is very explosive, dynamic, with Patrick Mahomes, a future Hall of Fame quarterback, and you're an offensive coordinator for Andy Reid, and like one of the greatest offensive-minded coaches out there. And so a lot of people do have doubts about him, but he was a running backs coach before an offensive coordinator. So. And he helped Adrian Peterson and Jamal Charles get their career years in rushing. So I think that could be a positive for us and something so we Texas fans can look forward to, and help our stagnant rushing game for sure. And like the typical run up the middle stuff, I doubt he would bring that. And as far as coordinators that Eric Bieniemy would bring, I could see for offensive coordinator, I could totally see that Tim Kelly stays as offensive coordinator. I know that some people are kind of on the fence. There's like two sets of people who really like Tim Kelly, or people who really hate Tim Kelly. There's no in between. So I think Tim Kelly has some promise, honestly, and Deshaun Watson likes him. And I think that's just the most important thing that us Texans fans need to like consider is Deshaun happy? I know that some people say that you don't want to give your star player so much power, but I feel like Deshaun is like the representation of the whole team in a sense. So, and your team only goes as far as how your quarterback is feeling, how your quarterback is doing, in my opinion. So, I feel like if we can appease to Watson, and I feel like he's really like in an optimistic point of view, in a drinking the Kool-Aid point of view, I think that he's just using his power to leverage the situation, and hopefully that is the case. I really do, and that he doesn't want out. And I think Ian Rappaport said earlier today that Deshaun actually hasn't formally requested a trade, and what's different between Ian Rappaport and Adam Schefter is that Ian Rappaport gets sources from the team itself, so directly from the team, and then I think Schefter gets his sources from like Deshaun's agents or Deshaun's camp or something like that. So, and yeah, and I just don't think it makes sense for people to trade Watson. Like, there's just too much you have to give for Watson, honestly, and I think it's too early to trade a Watson, in my opinion. Like, he literally just signed a contract extension. If a trade were to happen, I feel like it would make sense a little later down the road. And I don't want Watson to leave, obviously. Like, what's the chances that you get a franchise quarterback? And no matter what the compensation is, that for Watson, what the odds that you get a franchise quarterback are very slim. And you don't even know if they'll even be like close to the talent of Watson. So that's just my mindset right now, and I think people need to stop being so hard on Eric Bieniemy. I used to be not a huge fan of Eric Bieniemy, but I'm just going to keep an open mind. And people say that he does have some criminal background, and it is. There are some convictions, but those things happened 20 years ago. I feel like he really cleared up and stayed clear from all that issues off the field. And Andy Reid said that he's like the best you can get. And Patrick Mahomes praised Eric Bieniemy and things of that nature. And I feel like if Eric Bieniemy can literally just copy that Kansas City Chiefs playbook and adjust it to the personnel that we have, I think that it can go far. We can go pretty far with Eric Bieniemy. I mean, Bill O'Brien almost went to the AFC Championship with Deshaun at the helm. We're not going to talk about why, but for obvious reasons. But if Bill O'Brien can make it to almost make it to an AFC Championship game, then Eric Bieniemy will definitely win multiple Super Bowls with Deshaun Watson. And I really hope that Deshaun Watson is here to stay with us. And so that's just my quick reactions for this. I'm so excited that we're finally interviewing Bieniemy. It's definitely his time to shine. And thank you all for watching, and hope you all like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. See you all next time. Peace.